Coach, how about a thought going into this new week 4, coming off a huge victory over Pitt on the road?
Yeah, it was obviously proud of the guys this weekend. I thought we played physical and responded all day. Something we talk about a lot, and we can play better. There's a lot of things that I don't think we did well, and that we can grow from. But it was good to go on the road, playing a close game, have to run 4-minute drill, and have some of the unique situations that happened. So that's huge for our football team moving forward. So I thought they handled themselves very well. We had a lot of guys out, a lot of guys stepped up, and it was obviously a great win. So now we move on to San Jose. They're they were a top 25 team starting off this year. They won the Mountain West last year. They got a great quarterback. So which is a battle. And then obviously I'm sidelined for a little bit of time here. So I've been virtually in everything. So I talked to the team again this morning virtually. So I've had 2 good days of practice and ready to be at Waldo on Saturday. So the guys are fired up to get back out there, and so that's where we're at. So I will open it up for questions. Patrick, you're muted, my friend.
There we go. Sorry about that. Thanks for taking time, first of all, to spend with us here today. Can you talk about who's going to step in as the interim head coach for Saturday?
Yeah, Coach Esposito's been doing it. We run it on the sideline very, me and Coach Bath, because we're on the sideline, kind of run the offensive side, and Coach Espo runs the defensive side. But as far as like the meetings, who's been speaking to the team after practices, Coach Espo's been handling that from the jump. And obviously he's been a head coach. He knows exactly what's coming. So he's done a great job. And I haven't been far away because I'm on every TV screen talking to him at the same time. But Coach Espo will handle that on Saturday afternoon for me.
How are some of your game day duties to be divided up on Saturday?
I mean, I don't have a ton of other than talking to different people and really trying to be on the field version to talk to Caleb, for getting information back to Coach Evans up in the box, and then obviously making calls for penalties will be Coach Espo's responsibility. Most of the special teams decisions, I have a very good conversation normally with Coach Pelsick on what we want to do with every punt, field goal, kickoff return. He'll make those decisions without the conversation, So I think the way we run it, there's always multiple people involved in most decisions. So there'll be less conversations and guys will have to make the decisions on what's the right timing to, we do rely on analytics a lot. So the book kind of runs the show a lot of the time, which is good for some of the decisions that might have to be made on Saturday. It'll take a lot of pressure off Coach Espo when we have some data to go off of that will make most of the decisions anyway.
And have you been able to watch practice live or I guess through a recorded feed?
No, I don't watch it live. I watch it right when it's done. I was just, 3 minutes ago with the defensive staff. I'm linked into like a little camera and I sit in the middle of the table and watch the film with the coaches. So, just watch the whole defensive practice. As soon as we're done, I'll hop into the offensive room. They're waiting on me to watch the offensive practice. Did the same thing with game planning. We have different hours or 2 hours sets during the day that we watch, the red zone or the third down or the run sit. And I've been in everything, I'm sitting on my couch instead, but still just speaking up and hearing what everyone's saying and coming up with ideas. And so that part has been fairly normal. I did not run the team meeting on Tuesday morning, but I did run this morning's team meeting first thing in the morning just to see everybody and talk. a little bit about the game and what I wanted to make sure they took from the game, because I hadn't talked to them since the game. So I think because of everything that we went through, I don't know, something like this is way more normal than it used to be.
How are you planning to follow the game on Saturday? I guess just through a feed that you have set up, or through the TV like other people?
Both. I'm trying to do both. I'm trying to have a feed and because I'd love to see 22 on the field. I'd love to see all 22 players. I mean, from a coach's eye, that's kind of what you'd like to see. If I only get the TV view, I only get the TV view. We're working on some of those things. I'm not allowed to have any contact with anybody. That's what I've kind of talked to a lot of people about. I don't think this week has not been all that different, as far as my contact with my coaches and the game planning and the staff meetings. I think Saturday is going to be way different, and that's something I'll have to deal with. I'm trying to plan for it now, but the week's been good, and just trying to make sure that we capitalize and learn off of victory last week that I thought we played very well, is really what I want to make sure we get accomplished, because we're going to need it moving forward.
And then any injury updates for Bryson Garner, who left last week's game, as well as some of the guys who didn't dress last week?
Yeah, Bryson he's kind of, he might play. He's definitely not out. He's practiced non-contact this week, so he's moved around. We know he's in shape. We just got to continue to work on that strength. AJ Thomas, I would say doubtful, is moving around more, getting closer, hoping to see him back. I do think you'll see Ryan Seelig. He's been practicing, which is great to get him back. Bustle, I don't think he'll be back. I think that's it. Offensively, we're still fairly healthy. We got, just dealing with small injuries here and there, but nothing major. So yeah, we're excited to get more healthy. Delano was an emergency guy last week. I don't know if you noticed, we put him in for one play because we had an emergency for one play. He made a tackle on that one play. He's been moving around, looks great, so it's been great to, to be able to play and have some success and then get guys back, so it's we're getting closer to healthy.
And then after last week's game, you told the Bronco Radio Network that it was the biggest win of your tenure. I guess, coming off this positive COVID test, has that done anything to, I guess, kind of maybe hurt some of that momentum from carrying over to this week?
Did I say that?
Yeah, I believe you told John Creek that in the locker room.
I think John Creek might have said that. But anyway, I don't remember saying that. That's okay, though. It was a big win regardless. No, I don't think so. I mean, what those guys accomplished on Saturday, against a good team at their place, the way we did it is probably the most impressive thing. I think that just the heart the guys showed. We had a lot of penalties, way too many. The guys kept responding and not letting that emotionally affect their next play. We got turnovers. I mean, to run the ball out with 4 minutes left and not have to give the ball back is a huge thing for the confidence of this football team. And for them to look at some of the things that we didn't do well, some of our pass coverage stuff we got to get better with, and leverages. And but yeah, I don't think it takes anything away. I think it's just another chapter in the book, and something we can overcome, and hopefully something we can learn from.
Coach, how about a thought on San Jose, Nick Starkel, their quarterback?
He's good.
He's been a few spots along the way.
I mean, I think he was a 5-star kid coming out. I mean, he started for Texas A&M, he started for Arkansas, and now he's starting for San Jose. So extremely talented, great arm whip. I mean, played a ton of college football, has already won a championship, obviously the Mountain West last year. He is a guy that we've been hearing from and hearing about, and he's a guy that we need to be ready for. He's not going to run all over the place, but he can do it from the pocket, a lot like our guy. He can do it from the pocket. So big challenge for our defense, and and it's going to be fun for people that come out to watch a guy like that play in Waldo.
Coach, you have a quarterback in Caleb Ellerby who has yet to throw an interception this season. The San Jose State defense has yet to force an interception. Does that build any confidence for your passing game heading into the week?
Yeah, we just need to continue to be efficient. There's some things that Caleb, I think, can do better from this weekend. I know he played an unbelievable game. I was on the phone with him was it 2 days ago? Just kind of going through mentally through the game with him and making sure he's continually improving. And, some of the drop back stuff that I think we didn't execute as well as we should with the details we need to execute with. But he's super accurate with the ball. His attention to detail in our RPO game on Saturday needed to be, almost perfect, and he was, and so he's continued to be efficient and explosive, and that's hard to do. I mean, a lot of people, when you're trying to be aggressive and trying to be explosive, you have to try to put the ball in small windows, and it's really hard to do both of those things. And he's done it. He did it last year. He obviously showed that on Saturday. I think everyone got to see it. We knew what it was going to take to move the ball against that. The plan wasn't to hold the ball for 40 minutes. Our plan was to execute. Any one of those plays, you break a tackle like Corey Crooms did the one time, then you score against that defense. So we didn't break a ton of tackles. We just kept getting 10-yard gains. And I was really proud of their efficiency on offense. And then we started to run the ball. We had some effectiveness running the ball. So that really kind of set the tone, I think, as we knew they were going to score. We knew they were explosive. We knew we had 3 DBs out, and they were going to try to get after some of our younger guys back there, and they did. But we kept answering the call, and Caleb was cramping and everything, and just kind of hung in there with us. So definitely a lot of confidence in him. Every defense presents different challenges, and this defense coming in here is a lot different. They do a lot of different things, a lot of different fronts, a lot of different coverages. So we talked about the other night, he's going to have to be sharp. He's going to have to know what's coming and what coverage they're in, and a lot of the stuff our defense does too. So he's seen it in practice plenty. So it should be a challenge for him. I know he's excited about it.
Looking at film of the San Jose State defense, are there any players or schemes that they run that stood out to you that worry you?
No schemes. I mean, it's stuff we've seen before, but they play hard now. 42 is to our right defensive end, and he's a dude. I mean, he can run, and their whole front is big and physical. And their one linebacker who's out was one of the best players in their conference. He'll be out for the first half, but you'll see him in the second half. But they got players that can run and hit. You don't win a Division I football conference, without having a ton of players. So defensively, they've been playing really good. I think they've only given up 4 or 5 touchdowns in 3 games. So they've been playing well, keeping people off balance. And so it's going to be a huge challenge, and it's a unique combination between Illinois State's defense and Pitt's defense. So the order of games kind of helps us a little bit in all the multiple fronts we're going to see. We have faced them before. We're just going to have to be able to execute play by play. And unlike last Saturday, maybe have a different look every play and have to adjust and react to that play. Whereas sometimes you can get comfortable with the one defense you're seeing if you have a kind of a single front or even just 2 fronts you can get used to. But when you're talking about 4, 5, 6 fronts, luckily our center is an academic All-American. That helps because we just got to get up there, all get on the same page, and then execute with detail. But we got to get up there and get on the same page first against a really good defense.
Coach, it looks like they're a base 3-4, but do they shift around up there on the defensive line?
Oh yeah, they're going to run 4-3. They're going to run 3-4. They're going to run 3-3 stack, and then they're going to run some variations that might look like a 3-4, but it's going to play like a 4-3. From up above where you're sitting, Hookster, it'll look like a 3-4, but it might be a shade 3-5 and a stand-up DN that's off the line a little bit like Ball State did last year. So that's why it's important that we get up there. Luckily we go straight to the line of scrimmage every play. We scan, we take our time. We want to make sure we know what they're in. So they definitely cause some challenges, and sometimes they'll give you an even box and play some more coverage. Sometimes they're going to load the box and stop the run. So Caleb's going to have to make a lot of big decisions. And anytime you have a 3-man front, it gives them variety. They could always drop 8 at any time, only rush 3, which then it adds one more player to every coverage they have, so Caleb's going to have to know when they do that and how to react in that moment. So it's it'll be a great challenge. I know Caleb and Mike. I've talked to both of them on the phone, and they're excited about the opportunity. And I think we put a good plan together. Had a good practice Tuesday. Like I said, I haven't watched the offensive film from today yet. I'm going to do that right after this, and then they'll be excited to play another home game.
Talk about Caleb Ellerby. Zaire Barnes also earned a MAC Player of the Week for his performance last week. What did you like from him, and especially hopping on those 2 fumbles?
Man, just to watch a guy come through adversity, it's Zaire's one of our best players, has always been one of our best players, a complete competitor. And then watching him blow his knee out last training camp was just terrible. And watching him having to fight through it and have the surgery and rehab and want to be out there, but can't. And then he came back and he wasn't the same guy because he wasn't trusting it 100% yet. And then he gets, he's just getting better every time he's out there. Now he looked like Zaire Barnes on Saturday, and being physical. I don't know, I think 8 to 10 tackles at the right spot, a fumble recovery wise, and great in coverage. There's just he can play 2 positions. He can play the Will, he can play the Sam, which is nice. And having that piece of the puzzle when you have AJ, when AJ's healthy, he can play the Sam or the safety spot. So you have 2 Swiss Army knives, kind of, that we can put them different places when we have injuries and still have our best 11 out there. So, man, I was so happy for him to have a big game, his probably biggest game on the biggest stage. And if he wasn't tripped up, he would have had a touchdown. Andre Carter saw the ball on the ground and dove for it, and Zaire picked it up and started running with it. And unfortunately, Andre fell right on his shoelace and tripped him, or he would have gotten the end zone, which would have been fun to see him celebrate there on one of the great turnovers that those guys forced on Saturday. So I just think the sky's the limit for him. He's back. He trusts his body. He's had plenty of time to lift, and he's kind of filled out a little bit. He's a little stronger than he's been in the past, and had a great off season, which is hard to do when you're coming off a knee. And man, it was great to see him have success.
Coach, final question from me. Is there a date that you're looking at coming back as far as what the protocols dictate?
Yeah, my date's the 30th. So next Thursday will be my first day back in the office, so it's been a unique, I look at everything. I'm a silver lining person. You probably know that by now, Pat. And so I am in meetings all day virtually, and then the time I've struggled this week is when they're on the field, and so I've started watching Buffalo. It's great. I've been just sitting here. I've watched more film this week than I've ever watched in my life. That's all I can do, and so I'm already getting ahead on that. And so hopefully, I'm hoping by Sunday when those guys come into the office, I'll have more information for them than they've ever had, both sides of the ball, saying, hey, this is who we're playing. I've watched all their games, so hopefully I'm trying to use this as an advantage. And if I have to watch this game on television, my way of hopefully I can see something on television that can help us down the road, so maybe I'll pick something up that I would have never seen if I didn't have to watch it this way. And if I can pick something up and use it to help us down the road, because, obviously San Jose State's an unbelievable football team. And then we start conference play. And that was the I'm lucky that I'm going to be back for that. And it's going to be, we got our first 4 weeks of conference play it's Buffalo, Ball State, Kent State, Toledo. I mean, it's everyone that's picked to win it. And depending on which publication you look at, all of them are picked, so it's going to be a great challenge the next month. And, this setback is maybe an opportunity for us to get a head start on the first game of that, or at least me.
One follow-up for me off that. When's the last time you've been able to spend a college football Saturday at home?
Ooh. That's a great question. Probably 2001, maybe. I was playing arena football. I had a fall off once. It wasn't before college, so it had to be like 2001, I think, was the last time that I've had a Saturday that wasn't at a game, so it'll be crazy. And I don't know if I'll get the feed in here. I got 3 TVs in here, so I'm going to have them all on. And so just trying to, obviously there'll be one game I'm dialed into, but it'll definitely be different. I haven't compartmentalized in my head Saturday yet. I got to figure, I know I can't do anything. I know I can't have any communication, but I got to try to figure out how you do that. I'm a first timer. I was thinking about calling. So I know it's happened to a lot of coaches, and I heard the story about Miss Terry saying, what Coach Saban did when he was, screaming and yelling at the television, so I'm just really worried about our preparation right now, and I'm hopefully got a good plan together by Saturday when I'm here down in this basement by myself.
Coach, Ladarius Jefferson's been able to find the end zone 5 times through your first 3 games. You had a big performance there against Pitt. What have you liked about him and his performance so far?
I've just been so proud of the way he falls forward. You know what I mean? Like there's certain running backs that just don't get pushed backwards. And when you're obviously inside the 5-yard line, you like that, a guy that's leaning forward and always falling forward because he's about 6 foot tall or maybe a little bit more. So that's 2 yards right there, so if he's falling from the line of scrimmage forward. So, so he's been physical. He does a great job in pass pro. He's gotten himself faster from year 1 to year 2. He's done a great job with his preparation in the off season. So, him and Sean and Jackson, but Jackson's been kind of hurt, but him and Sean are such a great 1-2 combo because like I said before, they both do everything well, but they both have certain unique traits that can make certain plays even better. Like he runs harder than most running backs I've been around, can break tackles. Whereas Sean has a little bit more, going to make you miss and go the distance, but they both can run hard and they both can catch the ball and they both can pass pro. So it allows us to kind of rotate them at will. And as long as we're rotating them at will, then it doesn't mean that since Ladarius is in there, we're running inside zone. And if Sean's in there, we're trying to run it on the edge because we run everything with both of them. Which is a powerful thing as an offense. And now if we have a big play and it's a downhill play, we're probably going to have Ladarius in there for it, and if there's a big, I don't know, if I ever wanted my running back to go out wide and run a go route, Sean's going to run that, so that's the beauty of what they both brought to us. And it's been fun to watch Ladarius find the end zone, and the guys feed off his energy, which is great, him and Caleb. And it's really got us kind of going because I didn't think up till this point we really hadn't been clicking offensively like we'd like to. And hopefully this is the start. It's a long season, but hopefully this is the start to getting our offense back to being efficient like we need to be.